It was pretty much its own community. Probably had about 225 individuals that we supported in a congregate setting.
It was called active treatment. Program personnel would come around. They would say, at this time you have to have crafts, at this time you have to have music, at this time you have to have whatever that was on the schedule, that's what you had to be doing. Even if you work with individuals that were not interested in doing the crafts or that may even want to taste the crafts, you had to encourage it and do the best you could to get that done.
Most of the time when we went out into the community, we went out in a 15-passenger van. So it was a very isolated program, but provided good services to individuals with developmental disabilities at that time.
In the mid-'80s to early '90s, there was a push in the field to have services for people with disabilities become community-based, both in residential as well as vocational. To have folks move out of large institutional or group settings into private homes, apartments, condominiums, and move from different sorts of large campus-based settings also into community employment.
I think the first change was instead of having 12 or 15 on a wing, and when they started moving out into the community, downsize them to 3 and no more than 4 in a house or an apartment.
During that process, one of the most difficult parts was to convince people that individuals with developmental disabilities could be successful in the community. There was a big push to convince family members that their sons and daughters or their loved ones would be very successful in the community and also bring on community membership. But there was a lot of resistance.
Some of their guardians and parents at that time wasn't really ready for that. They were just afraid for them how their children were going to be accepted within the community, not realizing that we were getting them out in the community already, but it all worked out very well.
I think when there was the transition from the campus to the community-based program, that was difficult as it was for all the parents, just the whole concept being so different. But once it happened and they saw how much more their children were involved in the community of Columbia and being active in church and could see the growth of their own children that they didn't think they'd ever have, some more sense of independence than they'd had before. So I think they appreciated that very much.
Woodhaven completed its move off of our campus in 1996, and we moved into the individualized supported living model, where the individuals that we serve are living in homes, apartments, different living environments that they choose and that meets their needs. They're a part of the community, they've been citizens of this community for years, and they're living in their neighborhoods.
I think it gave the individuals a better quality of life. It has enhanced their lives because they have greater control over their lives because they're living in an environment where there are a smaller number of people. They have their privacy, they have control over when they want to eat, when they want to take a shower. On the old campus, they did not have those type of things because they ate cafeteria-style meals. I can remember one of the first times I was visiting one of the homes and an individual heard the doorbell ring and was like looking around like, what is that? Because they had never heard a doorbell before. So some of the things that I think we take for granted are things that were very new to a lot of the people when we first moved into the community.
I think that's when you could focus on learning them individually. You can see what they like and what they didn't like, and then you could change it. There was more input, more focus on the individual instead of a program that was written for them.
I think we began to really look at treatment from a different perspective. When you talk about individualized services, that's where we are now, and I think that's one of the major strengths of this organization is that we don't put everybody in a box. We look at what individual needs are, and we try to put those supports around that individual to make them successful, to help build independence and to enhance their self-esteem and, of course, their quality of life.